Hello, my friends. We are SwagVintageAZ. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Etsy, where we do all of our online sales. And then if you want to visit our booth in Phoenix, Arizona, we are at the Brass Armadillo. That's the location on I-17 and Cactus. And we are booth P2 in the Parlor, which is like a side gallery to the main mall. Okay, so today we're going to be doing some thrifting. We're going to be doing some what's sold. We're going to be doing some other stuff in the studio. So please stay with us for the whole video if you are so inclined. So here we are at our first stop. I do pass by these walkers. I actually purchased one the other day for a family member who has some mobility issues, and if it was totally worth it, it was like $8. And that person is very happy with the purchase. So I think that the Goodwill is a really great place to get those kinds of aids, just a kind of PSA for wheelchairs, walkers, and any other things that people may need in that phase of life, right? There I was looking at a little tiny desk fan because it's hot, so hot here in Phoenix. There's that lamp that we saw last time, but that desk fan did not have its plug, so we moved along. Now we're looking in the lamps for any goodies here. I would love to find like a small sized vintage lamp that I could ship and add to my shop. I have a pair of brass ones right now that are in the shop, but I'd like to add more. And of course I love lamps, as everyone knows. Here are some hand-carved heads that I was not super attracted to, but I did find this hand-carved wood lion. I really love the variations of the colors of the wood on this one. He is gonna be headed to the booth. Actually, I just installed him today before I started narrating this video, and maybe I put $7 or $8 on him. Now, this is a curious thing. I don't know what it is, and later in the video, I'm gonna take it apart and open it up. I did a Google image search, and nothing came up. You can take the top out. There's a little bowl inside. You can take the bottom out. I don't know what it's for though. But it's brass. It's kind of cool. I'm curious about it. And I think both of these items were only $3.50 each. So I went ahead and put them both. I'm using a basket instead of a cart. I guess I was just too lazy to walk back up to the front and get a proper cart. So you'll see me put things in baskets, and I'm doing everything with one hand here. So these are some pewter acorns I thought were kind of funny, but I think they were $3.50 each, so I didn't think they would be worth it. And we have a lot of those salt crystal lamps on the shelf today. I think I just counted 1, 2, 3. Now looking into, this is just a really random item shelf that no real rhyme or reason to it, but it's one of my favorites because this is where you find like little animals and things like that. So here I spy a basket with a handle that I'm going to use. It's a picnic basket. And I did not purchase this basket. I end up just taking it. I just put my items in there. Now I have a little helper with me today, and they found a pineapple napkin holder in wood, so we went ahead and picked that one up, and I'm transferring one basket to the other. Oh, and then special delivery. Here is a hand-painted mug. I liked the colors. It was close, but not quite high quality enough, so we set that one back. Here is an interesting little owl made entirely of these little tiny seashells, but there were just a few missing from both of the tips of the ears. And so for $3.49, I felt like that was steep for something that was broken. So I set that one back and left it. And speaking of putting things back, I did get a little feedback in the comments section. Not everyone enjoys that I don't buy everything. So that's totally legit, like criticism, but I put a lot of things back because I'm a reseller. This isn't like a thrift haul necessarily where I'm just kind of grabbing up all kinds of stuff just to enjoy, for that enjoyable experience. I'm very intentional, and and I'm always on a budget because I am running a little side hustle business that makes a little bit of money for my family. And so I have to be really discerning. So just kind of putting that out there, that that's the intention of this video. Also to maybe help other resellers who are trying to get started. These kinds of videos were really helpful for me when I was first getting started. So here I am looking in sports equipment for the elusive 10-pound weights. I should have picked up the ones from the other video. Those are for my personal use. And then I found that cue stick that looked pretty cool, but I don't really think it would sell, so I left it. These are some nice glass candlestick holders. I feel like maybe I should try a pair of them in a shop. I've heard they sell, or in my online shop, I've heard they sell pretty well, but maybe I just wasn't ready that day. All right, so now we're cooking. Here is a very sweet hand-painted Mexican piece of pottery. It's a fish, and I think it's meant to put your sponge in its mouth in your kitchen. It's super duper cute. It was $3.50. No chips, no cracks. And then another special delivery here. This was a fine piece, but it was very, very, very crazed. And I wasn't super attracted to it, but my helper had a pretty good eye because I do think it was vintage. And here we are looking in pots. I find this sweet little ceramic in an 80s kind of dusty rose pink. I do have a little collection of white and pink in that style, so I went ahead and picked that up for my small collection. And at first I thought this was a puppy figurine, and I mean, technically it is, but it's made out of wax, so it was a candle, so we left that one behind. And looking in the vases, I'm always on the lookout for some well-made, very convincing fake plants that I can put on the patio that will survive our summer, but I wasn't finding anything today. These are so funny. I picked up a pair of those at another thrift, and then a commenter told me that they were from the dollar store, which was super helpful. So I put them in the booth for, I think, 50 cents each or something, and they sold. Here we are. That is a signed studio pottery piece, but it was not remarkable enough in any way, so I left that. And here we have a nice McCoy, kind of looks like a diner style mug from like the 60s or 70s. And for $1, I like it enough to put that in the booth. We typically charge $5 to $7 or $8 for a mug, and that one will probably be like $5. There's a little piece of dripware. I have some pieces in the booth already that have not sold. I mean, I've sold a few of them, but we have enough in there that I didn't think I needed to pick up another one, so we put that back. And now into the fake plant section. Again, you're gonna see me do this. I hadn't included this in videos before because I wasn't really looking for patio plants, but now I am, so forgive me as I take a little time in this section. But there were no winners that day. So here we are into the mugs, and I really do love vintage mugs. They sell well in the booth. That one looked to be handmade, but then we found the little stamp on the bottom, so we set it back. But then I spied this one, which was $2.49. There's a faint signature on it, and it's clearly handmade in a really nice color, no chips, looking good. So we went ahead and grabbed that for the booth. This was a pretty little mug. I loved the handle on it, but didn't think it was dynamic enough. So I set it back. And as we're looking, check the bottom. I do take my time in the mug section because you just kind of have to take it all in and look for something interesting peeking out. And what do I see here? Oh, so this belongs to a set that is actually for sale in our booth right now. That looked like some paint on it. And I grabbed it as a backup because we have the full set. And what it is it's a ceramic set of 6 shot glasses that look like that. And then there's like this ceramic donkey carrying a cart with the shot glasses and then a bottle for the tequila. So that's in our booth right now. So I just grabbed that little guy as a backup in case one breaks or something like that. And then I found this one for $1.50. Now this is by Denby, and I swear, anytime I find anything by Denby, I just love it. They do dishware and mugs and all kinds of just kitchenware. So I picked up that Denby one. This one was damaged and I didn't think it was super pretty, so we put that one back. And then here I found another Denby mug. And so I thought, oh great, I have a pair now. And I'm looking through, maybe there's a set or just some other interesting mugs. And they had a lot. I mean, there's like 6 shelves of mugs this day. And what do I see? Oh, this was an interesting one that had like vegetables painted on it. It didn't have any kind of label or anything. So I went ahead and left it because I was getting pretty like mug heavy already. And I did see one that was similar to it that had, I think, like fruits. This one looked vintage to me, but I decided not to bring it in. It looks like it had a chip on the handle there. And I think we're about to wrap it up here in the mugs. I keep catching things, and there it is. Okay, so there is the third Denby. Now, of course, it's a set of 3, which I'm not allergic to sets of 3. I know that some resellers, it has to be 2, 4, 6. I sometimes can sell things in a trio, so I went ahead and grabbed that. Here was a nice looking hand-painted bowl for $2.50, but again, I didn't think it was quite high quality enough with the brushwork, so we put that one back. And we're looking in dishes, always looking for Fiesta ware, not really looking for anything else. Love those vintage plates that we saw last time we were here. And you'll probably notice that I visit the same set of Goodwills because I can't, with my lifestyle right now, I can't afford long drive time. So I really have to like fit it into my regular route. And so far it's been pretty successful. You know, I just find that consistency is the key. So there's no need to drive all the way across town all the time to get to a Goodwill because it's always hit or miss no matter what. All that said, I do love a road trip out to new Goodwills I've never been to before. One time I picked up an item out in Sun City and I stopped on every Goodwill on the way home. It was one of my favorite days. So it can be fun to get out of your regular route. Okay, so here I thought I found a vintage corn bread maker or pan, but then it said made in China. So I got a little suspicious because usually there's a different maker. I can't recall the name right now. I think it starts with a W. So that was left on the shelf. And then here's another item made in China. It has a Ross sticker. So we left that. Pretty though, in the white and blue. And now we're finding a salsa pitcher. Pretty smart idea. Just, you know, open up the mouth and slug it back, right? Okay. Now we found another studio pottery piece. Pretty, but not super spectacular. So we set that back. Now here I find this leather weightlifting belt for $5. And this is kind of an unusual item. Online they do sell for like $30. I went ahead and put that in the booth. I can't remember what price tag I put on it, but I thought it was an interesting item, probably really useful, and definitely like in an old school style. So we'll see if it sells. All right, now we're in wood things, and we come across this very pretty wood vase in kind of a banana yellow wood. The sticker said handmade in the USA. It had a really fascinating shape. It was like flat on one side. But for $6.49, I just didn't think I could get much more for it. Here was a funny little studio pottery piece that at one point I think had like a turtle on the side. That would have been cute. And I'm flirting with that vase again. It's very beautiful, but again, the price just doesn't give enough of a margin for me. So we went ahead and left that one behind. So let's see, where do we go next? Oh, these are the bunnies. I think they were there the last time. They're just kind of freakishly watching over us, so I decided to include them in the video. Here's some really convincing fake eggs that were lightweight, made of like a balsa wood or maybe just paper. And then we're into some bags with candles. And I don't think that I am finding anything amazing. There I am, walking, very exciting, into the little arts. And specifically here, I'm looking for those metal frames. I did sell another group of them on my Etsy site, so I really, really love finding those. Here I just got distracted by this one. I'm curious and wanted to see what was on it. Obviously a craft piece that was not finished. And then this I thought was interesting. It was a little piece of art made out of feathers into flowers. It was $3.50, but I was not a huge fan of its overall look and the matting and frame, so we left that one. Here's a horsey puzzle framed, looks like from the 80s. Painting of a doggy with a bow, looks like a paint by number. And here comes another special delivery. I rejected it. Anyway, into glassware. These were some, possibly commemorative McDonald's glasses. I did not look them up or look into it too much. We have a lot of thematic or branded vintage glassware in the booth right now, like Coca-Cola stuff, so I went ahead and let that go. These I just picked up to admire because I've always loved that zigzag squiggle martini glass. I have 2 available in my shop now and just a clear glass. And we're looking in pillows. We have the patio on our minds, of course, looking for outdoor pillows. And then I think this is our final stop into the men's jeans, and I'm looking for 501s, and this has turned out to be really fun for me. Ever since that first pair, that was like the first day I decided looking for them, I really have not found any other vintage 501s, but the search continues, and it's a really quick stop, very easy to sift through and determine what you're looking at now that I know. So today was not our day for vintage 80s, 90s, or aughts 501 Levi's. Oh, I lied. We decided to go into belts. There's my little basket.
Oh, there we go.
And set that down. Let's take a look in here. This I just wanted to inspect. It had some like stitch work on that was kind of nice, but it was a contemporary piece, so I left that one. And nothing to be found there. Pick that basket back up. Oh, I think I'm showing off the last of, or this is the final cut here. Not the most incredible huge haul, but decent, and this is how the job is done. You do it little by little. This, I just wanted to show this crazy purse with eyeballs, and it was like a fidget popper purse. Okay, on to the next stop at the Goodwill. Here's a bicycle wine rack. Looks like it came from World Market, Cost Plus. It was $14.50. I did not bother looking that up to see if there was any resale value. It was cute, but not quite my thing. And just checking out this cute little piece of furniture, end table. I liked that diagonal cupboard, but other than that, there wasn't anything in the styling that I was excited about. And I was curious about this vase. I liked the color, but it did not seem anything special, and it was also very lightweight. So we left that one. Moving into a closer look at furniture, and I guess we moved out very quickly. Okay, here I found a yardstick, and I was pretty excited because I measure things constantly for my online listings, and my other yardstick broke, and sometimes I use them in photos as well, so pretty excited to have found that one, and I think it was only 99 cents. So here we are in the lamps, cute little elephant, very new. Sporting goods, give me those 10-pounders, come on. But it was not going to happen that day. This is the Goodwill on 16th Street and Bethany Home Road in Phoenix, and it's very small. So I come here a lot because it's on my little loop. And I have had times where I've filled a cart here. That hasn't happened lately. That's okay. We'll keep visiting. And here we are in the wood aisle. It's an interesting little California piece. And there's a cute rainbow for the kids to play with. But nothing really shouting out at me. At this Goodwill in the bags at one point. Oh, I liked these brass safety pins, but I didn't like anything else in the bag, and I would have just got them for us. But it also had glitter, which, like, I don't know, glitter is just a dangerous thing to bring in the house when you have crafty young ones around. But I think about a year ago now, I did find a beautiful set of French cutlery here at this Goodwill. And it was a large set. It was in fabulous condition, and I sold those for several $100s. It remains to be one of the best sales I've ever made. So I still religiously visit this particular Goodwill because you just never know. And here we are looking in glassware, some pretty purple, looks like margarita glasses. And then we're looking into the mugs. Not like I needed any more after that huge mug haul. These I thought were interesting. I wish they hadn't been branded as a part of like the Renaissance Festival, because I really do like these kind of studio pottery made or pottery made goblets. Here I am just inspecting another brown vintage looking mug, but we left that one behind. Looking in the fake plants once more, but that was just a quick glance. There really wasn't anything there of use for me that day. And into some candle holders. And here we go. Here is a nice big, probably homemade wood candle holder. And I think that's going to complete a lot sale I can create with kind of a mixy-matchy collection of chunky handmade wood candle holders. I have sold those before. They're great for like weddings and, events like that. Here I'm checking out the beadwork on like a Southwest style belt. Definitely like a tourist piece, but the beads were not in good shape and it was really kind of warped and mangled. So unfortunately, I had to let that one go. Here I am just kind of looking at it again. I'm wishing that it was in better shape, so I keep touching it, but really there's nothing there for us. Too bad. Hopefully someone else can maybe grab it, straighten it out, and wear it in spite of its flaws. All right, our final stop of the day. By this point, I had clearly bribed my little friend with a strawberry shake. We're getting to the end of our journey. We're both a little hungry and getting grumpy. This was made in Italy, though surprisingly really lightweight. And I did look it up and it didn't have much of a resale value. And it cost $7.50. So I ultimately let it go, but it was a nice piece nonetheless. And, if it says made in Italy, I will definitely at least take the time to look it up and see what it's worth, because I know that there's a lot of ceramics and pottery from Italy that have really high resale value. This was pretty, though I left it. It looked like a contemporary piece to me. Now, this little guy had like a serial number on the bottom, and I did a little research on this pupper, and he would typically come as a set with two other pups that kind of fit in that concave belly of his. But he was so cute, and he was only $1.50, so he's in the booth waiting for someone to take him home. I think I put $6 or $7 on him. Here we are in the bric-a-brac, obviously little figurines and special delivery. Here is, this must be something I am just not familiar with. It is one of the most alarming mugs I've seen in a while. And so we were laughing at this. Oh, it's a Star Wars. Okay, there you go. I knew it had to belong somewhere. I'm just not familiar with that interesting looking critter. and a couple more mugs that were presented to me as possibilities, but they both had newer looking stamps or tags on them, so we left those. And here I am just taking a glance at these candle holders, kind of nice stained glass pieces, but they were lightweight and they didn't look to be well made, so we left those on the shelf. And now we are looking very carefully in candle holders. It's really tough to see like anything that's made of wire among the wire racks and other wire things. So often I will pull things completely out so I can like really understand just what the shape is. That's a bunny. But I had to kind of put it against the floor as the backdrop in order to really see what that was. And we have some interesting little metal fish. And then candelabras sell pretty well in the booth. And they have to be of a certain style, which is very minimalist. And typically the gold ones sell well. And they don't even have to be vintage. You know, they just have to be nice looking, right? But this was, well, you'll see, I really struggled to get this one out. Like, as I was talking earlier about the wire pieces just being kind of confusing, and then this one's all tangled up with other ones. Finally got it free. This had a nice shape to it. It was black, tall, nice dramatic piece, good simple lines. It's definitely new, so that was kind of a drawback, and so I put it in the cart to think about it. It's also $7.50, and it does have some, I can see that I would have to bend some of those arms and then also clean up the wax. So we're going to think about that one in the cart. $7.50 is a little steep. Here we are, and this is a nice piece that was brought to me. Looks like studio pottery. It's not signed. It's really heavy and just kind of cool looking. I love mugs that have that big, huge handle. In fact, at home, we have ones that have these amazing big handles, and they look like a little, I don't know, like kangaroo tails or something, and we're always complimented on those. So I went ahead and put that one in the cart because I thought it was a good piece, and it is in the booth waiting for the next appreciator of such mugs. All right, and we move through the vases pretty easily. We find some lightweight kissing frogs. And then, ta-da, we find this little, is this a weed pot? A seed pot? I've seen it described different ways where it has that very narrow top and then a big round belly. I really liked that piece. It had some nice patterns, hand painted. It's not signed, but I thought it was really pretty and rustic looking, so I went ahead and grabbed it. It didn't have any chips, but there was some color loss on the paint, particularly around the lip. So that one's in the booth for a pretty low price. Then cute little embroidered piece, and then into some figurines. What do we find here? A whole lot of nothing. So we move into the section of the day, the mugs. Now we already have one mug in the cart, that studio pottery piece, and there we have that Star Wars thing staring at us. And again, I just look, and I don't pick up every mug, but I really just try and find like a corner or a piece, maybe a color that I like, or some indication that it's handmade, vintage, interesting handle, you know, just all of those things, good texture. All right, I really liked this globe. It was like all in pinks and blacks, but we were just kind of playing with it. We did not pick that one up. And then I was curious what this was for 40 smackers. And oh, it's a Halloween piece, a Lazy Susan with the hand from, not the Munsters. Come on, the Addams Family. There, I got there. Okay, and then here we are. This was like a nice little footstool that was obviously vintage, great legs on it, but it was white, and it was, the camera, or this video makes it look like it was pretty clean. It was pretty filthy, so I left it behind. And we are looking into the big arts now. Nice reprint there. Some old photo of a panther. Now, I did consider this one. It is a beautiful still life. The price, I believe, was like $6.50, and of a really huge, okay, $7.50, large scale. The issue is we already have a similar piece in our booth that hasn't sold, so I don't want to have too much of the same thing. I'm confident it will sell because that kind of artwork typically does sell, but I didn't want to double up on it in the meantime. These were some really cool mirrors with like the gold frame and then a milky pillar. Sorry, I barely finished that last sentence and then I sneezed right after, so I'm sure you heard me be like, pillar, because I was being weird. Anyway, so there were those two mirrors with the pillars. This I desperately wanted to be 10 pounds, but it was only 5 pounds, and I don't need 5 pounds, so I left those, and I'm just checking out the sports equipment. And again, regretting that I didn't pick those other 10-pounders up for $10 each, because that actually was a good price, because later I was like, I'll just buy these off Amazon, and then I was like, oh, wait, they're actually like $30. So missed my opportunity on the last video, but oh well. It's a classic. Pretty sure that's a shake weight. So, and then here was a bocce ball set, which I thought was pretty cool, but we already have one. So I left that as well. A nice little Roomba type thing. This was a really cute little fireplace, probably from the 80s, but I didn't pick it up. And now we look into the lamps. Do I see anything promising? No, I do not, which is fine because we have plenty in the booth. And lamps take a while to sell. They're not this poor crushed dinosaur. Anyway, they take a little while to sell, which is fine. I love them so much. I'll be with them till the end, right? Looking in the frames for any of those vintage metal frames that just really are selling really well. Like I said, I just sold the last grouping. I'm one frame away from making another group. Those match that other thing I was looking at earlier, this little salt and pepper shaker. They're very cute, but I guess I could have picked those up. Oh well, I left them. Then, and just an update on the budget. Of course, I'm still being pretty discerning because I'm like right on the line. So making these YouTube videos, I have to spend some money, right? But my sales have been so slow that I've been just putting myself into debt. Not by a ton, but I just caught up. I made some great sales, which we'll talk about in a minute. And I'm kind of like breaking even right now. So I will be, I'm always making a profit, but whatever, financially, I'm doing better. Suffice it to say. All right, here we are in men's jeans, and I'm going to quickly thumb through these for the 501. And I'm kind of realizing now, like, this is a pretty dull video. So I might just change these to, like, when I actually find a pair of 501s. However, they did have a lot of Levi's. It's just 511s, 514s. This one had a faded patch. Do I decide to investigate? Oh, it was very thin denim, so I moved on that one. This one had an interesting workwear fit, 3232. I don't know what that means. Had a zipper front, and even though I think, like, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of something special about a workwear fit, I checked the E because if it's a lowercase e, it's not so fancy, but if it's a big E, then it is fancy. And so that was just my really quick indicator. Should I look into this or should I move on? Again, I'm trying to keep it just to 501s because I'm still learning and I don't want to go too crazy. So here we go. We've got a button fly, and now I'm inspecting the tags to see maybe when these were made. And as I'm searching, I see that there's like the stamp on the inside pocket and these fabric tags on the inside waistband, which I think are both indicators that these are newer than like the aughts or 90s. Now, it did have the tag on the leg, but that one looked different than the ones that I've seen as a part of like the era that I'm looking for. So I went ahead and left this one, plus it was $18. And here is the cart. I did put that candelabra back because it was just a little too expensive. Okay, everybody, I am here in my studio once more. And as you can see, I have all of the items laid out. I need to clean them and get the stickers off. And then also I was going to go ahead and test with batteries some of the clocks that I have had sitting around that I've thrifted. This one's really nice. It's like a stone piece. This one is, I think, a really nice one. I've had it in my office for a while, but I think I just need to replace the battery. And then here's this live edge wood one that I picked up a while ago. It's really, really cool. So I need to tighten some of the bolts and then put a battery in. Fingers crossed that all of these work, because you just never know what you're going to get. And then if it doesn't work, then I have to replace the mechanics. But I also wanted to do a little bit of a what sold. So things have been going really well, and I think it's probably the YouTube stuff. So thank you all for watching. Hopefully some people are hitting the link to my Etsy shop and picking some stuff up. I think they are, because all of a sudden things picked up this week. So the things that sold, these very cool studio pottery, kind of like little tiny wine goblets sold. I have a set of 6. And I think they're going to California. I think I priced those around $30 for the set. So I'm excited about that. I'll be packing that up today. And then overnight, I woke up my favorite way, with my phone buzzing, that someone decided to get this. This guy's going to like Delaware. And I priced this one at $75, and it sold for its full price. So I am happy about that. Then what else sold in here? Why am I not remembering my other sales? Oh, where is it? Where'd it go? Oh, this. Trying not to show the frightening state of my studio / office. So this sold, and this is a like 1950s drive-in movie theater speaker box. It needs to be rewired, so I put about $30 on it, and this sold within 24 hours of being listed, so I'm excited about that. And my in-laws gave this to me because they were clearing out their garage or whatever, and they found that, and they said, take anything you want, which is a really great way as a reseller to grab a little free inventory. As much as I love thrifting sometimes, you know, I mean, like, free is great, right? Then finally, I had to pause the video because I couldn't remember. Finally, what I sold, and I'm so excited because I have had this glassware for a while, not those. And even though it didn't sell right away, I've like just loved these glasses. It's these clear glass ones with this really great mustard yellow stripe along the bottom. I had these listed. I called them the most perfect 60s water glasses ever made. So I have a set of 4 of these large ones, and they sold. Now I still have 4 little guys that are still available in my shop. So I am so excited to send these out because I just think that they are absolutely lovely and will look really cool in just like a retro vibey kitchen. So I also have a couple other sales that I packed up earlier this week that I will go over now. This beautiful painting sold. I had a high price on it because I love it so much. So it sold for $75, and it was small enough that I could ship it. And it just has this beautiful brushwork. It's unsigned, but the colors have been phenomenal. And I've used it in so many staging photos. If you're on my Instagram, you've seen it a million times. And you will no longer see it because it's gone. And the same buyer got this little piece, which I have been using to hold my jewelry for months and months, but I've always loved it. It's a beautiful studio pottery piece, really great colors and kind of like action with it, super unique. And then this piece sold, but tragic story. I double boxed it, I packed it really well, and it broke. So we no longer have this piece with us. I'm super bummed. The buyer was really, really understanding. Okay, I would love some help on identifying what this object is. If you remember, I thrifted it. I did not know what it was at the time, and I still don't know. This top comes off, and then there's this little kind of bowl inside. And then this bottom comes off, and there's this, and that's just empty up to the bowl once you take the bowl out. See? And then this doesn't seem to come apart. It looks like it's all one piece. It rattles though. So is there something in there? I mean, when in doubt, I just kind of call it an incense burner. But I don't really know how that would work, to be honest. So I'm sure I could Google image search it, but I thought it would be interesting to see if there's any comments, anyone who knows what this is. All brass. All right, so now some new listings. What you're about to see is available in our Etsy shop. I have sad feelings about selling these, but they really do belong to someone else. They have the best high-rise I have ever seen, and they are vintage, made in the USA. And then in the listing, I did also like the measurements across and the rise and the inseam and the waist. They are so super cool. And then this is kind of the companion piece to the one that broke, sadly. So this was by the same maker, and this one's in an olive green instead of the teal. A little more on the plain side, but really a lovely piece nonetheless. And then I don't know if I showed this to you guys, but I was able to finally get a lot of brass candlesticks. I've been slowly collecting them over the past few months. I have a snuffer with them. They're big, they're little, they're heavy, and really high quality. That big pair usually goes for like $60 to $80 just by themselves. So, and then finally, I love these slacks. Wish they fit, but I'm trying not to hang on to clothes where I'm like, if I just lose 10 pounds, then it'll fit. No, I'm not doing that. So these are Saks Fifth Avenue Young Dimensions. I think they're late 70s, early 80s. They technically zipped up on our in-house model, but we're just a bit snug. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.